Hello, welcome. I'm just going to share this briefly. We're going to get started. I hope you all had an amazing Monday. Happy Tuesday. We are back for another BIA Tip of the Day. And I'm excited to share with you all what I have got. All right, let's see. There we go. All right. So, thank you for tuning in, whether you're watching the replay, whether you're watching the live. I'm grateful that you decided to tune in and to hear what we've got going on for today. So, hi TK. Hello. So, for today's topic, we are sticking with systems and processes with the focus on production. All right. So, how does this tie in with systems and processes? How does production do that? It allows you to be more flexible with your time, to be more flexible with your day, to best establish what you want it to look like, what your ability is, what your capability is, all of that. So, as we discussed not last week, but the following week, um, systems and processes allow you to create an outline for your day, a system and a structure for your day. So in doing that, you're allowing yourself to be more productive and have a more free flowing day because you've created different things for yourself that allow you to actually make sure that you're being productive throughout the day, right? If you're just creating a system and a process, if you're not creating a system and a process, then you're kind of just leaving your day to be open to do whatever you can get done, you may get done, but it doesn't allow you to make sure that you're accomplishing whatever it is that you have set for yourself that you need to do, right? So it allows you to have a more free flowing day. So, the different ways, or one of the ways that you can increase productivity through systems and processes is time blocking. Now, this isn't, um, I mean, this is something that I've recently heard about. I'm not sure if this is something that is like a large scale thing that everyone knows about, right? But I know that this is something that I just learned about, and I'm very excited to have found this and stumbled upon this. Time blocking. So, what is that? It is a strategic method used to divide your time into segments or blocks in a day in order to accomplish specific tasks or assignments. So, what this might look like, I'm going to have a detailed outline. 7 to 9 is your morning routine. That consists of exercising, showering, eating breakfast, preparing for the day, getting ready for everything that you need to get ready, right? Getting your documents together, all of that stuff. That might be the first portion of your day. That's your first time block. Then your next time block might be from 9 to 1 p.m., working on the different tasks and assignments that you have, different projects that you need to accomplish, different things like that, right? That is that second time block. Then you can have another time block that's just for lunch, to take a break, whatever, from 1 to 2. Then 2 to 4, you might have a time block for meetings, right? Whether it's something that you're setting up or something else that has been placed on your calendar, regardless of who's setting up the meetings, that's your time where you've established I'm getting meetings done during this time. 4 to 6 can be the closeout of your day. This is when you're completing any of the tasks or assignments that you have, whether it's something that you didn't get to finish that day or another day. It could be time that you've established that I am going to work on these projects, these tasks, whatever it is that I need to accomplish and get done. This is a time that I've allowed myself to get it done, and it's going to get done in that hour. That is important, or in those 2 hours based on this fake schedule. Then 6 to 9 might be your night routine. That's when you're making dinner, taking a shower, doing a skincare routine, reading a book or listening to music, or just going to bed. The beauty with time blocking is that you get to manage your day, right? So if 9 to 1 is the time that you have set aside to do tasks and projects and assignments, whatever you do in that time, right? Whatever project you get done is based off of your workload. It's based off of your capability. It might be based on a time constraint, but you have that time to get it done. So it doesn't mean that every single Monday you have to work on the same project until it gets done. You might work on one project today and another project another day, but you're still staying within that time constraint so that you're not all over the place, right? And you're allowing yourself to be productive. And if you set aside that time to make sure you get things done, you might say, okay, I just want to work on 2 projects today. And those might be a lot easier than you expected. Now you have a lot more time, right? Now you might have an additional 2 to 3 hours to get something done that you didn't expect, and now you've freed up more time in your day. But you've set aside that time to specifically accomplish whatever it is that you need to accomplish. It is helpful, it is necessary, and it allows you to have a productive day. Even if you don't get to accomplish all the things on there because you have more time than you thought, you still had a productive day because you set aside time to get something done and you did it. It is important to stay within the time constraints that you have created. Allow yourself to stick with the guidelines, the timelines, whatever you have created for those time blocks for yourself. Stay with it because you have created it for a reason, right? You know yourself, you know what your schedule looks like, you know what your capability looks like. Even if you're learning, it's better to stay within those so that you can learn what your actual strengths are. You can learn, okay, I might not need 2 hours for this, I might need to shrink it. But if you stay within that time constraint, then you're allowing yourself to stick with what you have and to know how to update, how to make adjustments moving forward. But if you don't do that, then you're just kind of allowing yourself to to exert yourself too much and to put too much time into something when you don't need to. It also doesn't allow you to honor yourself when you don't stay within those time constraints in those time constraints. You're not respecting yourself and you're not showing yourself a boundary. Showing yourself a boundary is important. We have boundaries that we set for other people, but we need to do it for ourselves as well. I am guilty. I will spend time working on a project and doing spending too much time on it, and then by the time I finish, now I'm tired, now I'm exhausted because I spent so much time trying to accomplish this one thing, right? Or a few things. You want to keep yourself within a certain time constraint because it allows you to honor yourself, to honor your time, and to not overdo it, to overwork yourself. Because it can be easy to start working on something and spend way too much time on that one thing, right? And now you haven't spread it out evenly. So, there may be times when you will have to work later than usual or spend more time on a task, but that should not be the norm. That should not be your everyday where you are spending, you have a time block from 9 to 1 to work on task and you spent way too much time. You've worked from 6 to 4 working on just tasks. You haven't allowed yourself to do any routines that you have for yourself, right? Spread it out. There are going to be times when life is going to require more from you, and you might have to work a little bit later, right? But never make it your normal where you're constantly just going. If your schedule feels less rigid and more complex, create a time block where you can fit it in, right? Sometimes we use the excuse that we can't find time, there's no time. It is unfortunately excuse, right? It's not one that we want to hear, but it is It can be an excuse because you can set aside 10 minutes of your time to do something. If your time blocking only looks like you started something, creating a morning routine, and then you create a night routine, and that's your time blocking for now, then start somewhere. Start there, right? But you don't want to not create something for yourself because you're saying, I'm too busy, because I have all these responsibilities and all these obligations. You're stretching yourself thin and you're not giving yourself grace to allow yourself to function and to be productive in what you need to do because you're just filling your time with things just to fill your time with things, right? Put things in place to best self set yourself up so that you're functioning the way that you need to function, that you're being as productive as you need to be, whether you need to set aside time to go for a walk, right? If, say, your schedule is very, very busy, but you've noticed that between the hours of like 2 and 4, you have a little bit more time, right? It's not as restrictive during those hours. Then during that time, set aside something for you to do, right? Even if it's inconsistent, so you don't know within the hours of 2 or 4 what it might look like, right? You might have a meeting at 3, you might have something you have to do at 2:30, but you know that between those 2 hours, you have time that you can set for yourself. Then create a time block from 2 to 4. And in that time, set it to be something for you to do for yourself, right? Or a project that you need to work on that's a continuous project. Even if it's just 15 minutes within those 2 hours, you've created that time block and you've allowed yourself to get done what you need to get done. It's about creating stability and creating a system for yourself so that you're setting yourself up for the best success, not just for whatever you're working on, right? But for you as an individual. You need to set things up for your life because you are a entire human being that has a lot of things to deal with, a lot of things that you're going through, a lot of things that you might have your hands in. But if you're setting things up for yourself as best as possible and creating different time blocks, even if you only have that 15 minutes to go for a walk or to get a cup of coffee, right? Do that for yourself, but set aside that time and do your best to stick with it. Stick with the time constraint that you have, stick with whatever it is that you said that you wanted to do. Know that you have the ability to make adjustments as necessary, but use it for your betterment. You will thank you at the end. All right, so ways to increase in productivity through systems and processes. Another way is taking a break. Breaks are necessary. Breaks will improve your productivity. If your brain is just going, 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 going nonstop, you're not allowing yourself to do what you need to do, right? To be rejuvenated, to get the rest that you need, to have all the energy that you need because your brain is just being wired and it's constantly going. If you are always on go, never stop to take a break or incorporate breaks into your day, your mind will barely get to rest. That is not helpful. That is not helpful. It's the same thing with sleeping, right? You need to get sleep. It's important that you get sleep so that your body has time to shut down, to go through the natural processes that it has to go through so in order for you to wake up and function as a normal adult, right? The same thing is when we are awake. You want to take time to take a break, to pour into yourself, to get what you need, something where your mind is, hey Allie, something where your mind is just it's on pause. And sometimes taking a break might look different, right? In every season I'm in, you might not be able to go for a walk, but it might mean, again, sitting and listening to music or having a conversation with a friend, even if it's just via text, right? Something that you can do for yourself to pause your mind, to pause everything that's going on around you. Because the truth is, if your mind is constantly going, how can you allow yourself to really tackle everything that needs to get tackled, right? It's going to be extremely difficult and very hard because you're thinking about this thing and now you're thinking about that thing and now you're focused on this and now you're focused on that and now you're trying to run to do this and you're trying to run to do that. I'm out of breath just saying that. If your mind is doing that, and that's the thing that helps keep you going, right? You have to put breaks in place. I noticed for myself when I did not do that for myself, when I didn't say, okay, I'm going to stop what I'm doing and get a snack, when I'm going to stop what I'm doing and just sit for a minute. When I didn't do that, by the time I stopped, I was exhausted. Why? Because I spent so much time just continuously going, I didn't give myself the break that I needed. My body needed it, but I didn't do it for myself because I didn't necessarily see the value in it. But this is something that I've learned and I'm still learning for myself, that it is important to take a break. You prevent yourself from recharging and getting what you need to keep going when you do not take breaks. Sometimes you can be so consumed with making sure that you're being productive, right? Making sure that you're getting all these things done, that you end up doing the opposite, right? If you spend most of your day cleaning your bathroom, right? Yeah, there's cabinets that need to be fixed. The mirror is a little wonky. You needed to buy a new this and get a new that. You're going out, you're being productive and you're spending all this time, but you spent all day just focused on this one thing. Now you're not able to be productive on the other things that need to get done. Your kitchen needs some TLC, right? Maybe your car needs a little something, something, right? Your room, your living room. There's other areas in that house that might need to be tended to and taken care of, but you're only being productive in this one area. And now you just ended up just wasting time when you could have spread it out throughout an entire day. You could have said, okay, I allow myself this amount of time to work on the bathroom, this amount of time to work on the kitchen, right? But instead, you've just decided that you're going to spend the entire day working on one thing, and now, when you finish, you realize that you still have everything to get done, and your mind isn't rested because now you're thinking about all the other tasks that need to get done, right? It's about creating systems for yourself that will help you to function and be as productive as necessary. And breaks are a part of that. Breaks will increase your production because you're not just going, wiring yourself to just always be on fumes. You're always on go. You're always the person that's just doing all the things, right? But now when it comes to rest, you can't, because you don't know what that looks like, right? And if you're not someone who's constantly on go, but when you are on go, you're on go and you don't stop, that's not healthy either. You need to find a balance. You can't just be one-sided, right? Be intentional with blocking off your time for little to nothing to help with your productivity. Don't feel like you have to fill your time with something or this thing has to get done right now. It will be okay if you do not accomplish that thing, right? Again, there are going to be some times when you need to buckle down and you need to get that thing done immediately. If you have an assignment due by 11:59 p.m., guess who's going to make sure they have that assignment due by 11:59 p.m. regardless of whatever other things you might need to get done. You have to get that assignment done, right? Yes, there are those times. But then there are other times where the project can be on pause. You can take a break to go for a ride because you need to feel the wind on your skin, depending on where you live. If it's hot enough, feel the wind on your skin. Or you might need to go for a walk, or you just want to walk your dog, right? Whether you work from home, whether you are starting a new business, whether you whatever your day looks like, whatever your task looks like, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, because child has work too. Okay, don't let nobody tell you otherwise. A stay-at-home mom is work, okay? Taking care of the children, taking care of the house, taking care of your husband, stay at home dad, right? Whatever you do, whatever your day looks like, whatever your roles and responsibilities look like, you want to make sure that you get those things done, but don't feel like if it doesn't get done that it's the end of the day, that now everything might fall apart, now that that project won't get finished and you won't get what you need financially, or that if you don't pick up this one thing right now, then that means that the whole house is just going to, destroy, right? Change the way that you're viewing your day and your productivity, and allow yourself to take the breaks that you need. Allow yourself to not constantly be going, and to set yourself up as best as possible. So some of the tools are the same as last week. Use apps and calendars and alarms. The more visual displays you have in front of you, the easier will be for yourself, because you'll be able to see exactly what needs to get done, right? You'll be able to open it whenever you need to look at it whenever you need to, and to see, okay, this is the time that I have for myself, instead of trying to just internally have an internal clock, right? Sometimes you need to set up yourself to have a different alarms that tell you, all right, in 5 minutes you're about to have to switch from working on tasks and assignments to going to meetings, or you're about to have to end your meetings and go home for work, or create dinner, right? Within those time blocks, have some sort of visual reminder, visual representation, or auditory, something for you to know, this is what I need to get done. This is what I have assigned for myself to do, or what needs to get done. If you need to start with a simple time block, that is fine. Whatever it looks like for you, do that. But don't just use a time block for one area of your life. It's not just necessary for that one area. It's not just necessary for your business, for your family, for your church or your ministry, for um for school, right? It's not just necessary for that one area, but for your entire life. Create a time block that will help you every day. Because if you just compartmentalize everything, if you just focus on the business aspect and say, okay, I need to make sure from 9 to 1 I'm doing this, and from 2 to 4 and all this other stuff, right? You created that, but you don't have anything in place for the other aspects of you, right? The other facets of your life. The part of you that's a mom, the part of you that's a husband, the part of you that's a teacher, the part of you that is a preacher, whatever that looks like for you, right? All of that is included in who you are in your day to day. Don't just focus on the one area and say, you know what, this is what's important, so this is what I'm going to focus on. Your skincare is just as important as completing that project. Why? Because when you feel good, it's going to start coming out of you, right? How you treat yourself is going to be important. Brushing your teeth is important so you don't walk around with some stank, nasty breath, right? And there are different tiers for how important certain things might be, but it's all important and it's all relevant. It's all part of you. So don't just stick to just that one area of your life and decide, I'm only going to time block for my business. Time block for your entire day, for what that looks like for you, and include those different parts. If in your 2 to 4 time block, depending on what app you use, what service you use, you can put in there specifically what you're getting done for that time, right? But don't just leave it to one area. It is not a race, so take it one day at a time, and remember that you will accomplish everything you need to. If you are just starting to time block, or you've been doing it for some time or whatever, and it might seem overwhelming at times, just know that you will accomplish everything that you need to. Just continue with it, be consistent, right? Use your tools, use your resources, but know that you will accomplish everything that you need to. And as always, I'm here to help, right? I don't just hop on here so I can give you tools that you can just try to figure it out on your own. If you need help, or even if you know what you're doing, but you just want some extra assistance or guidance, I'm here to help you. I want to make sure that your day goes as smoothly as possible and you have everything in order that it needs to be. Again, not just for you and your business, but things that might pertain to your everyday life. Because we are multifaceted. We have our hands in different things. Even if it's just two things, that's more than one. Right? So feel free to schedule a consultation today so I can help you in whatever area that looks like. And if it's in totality, I got you with that too. And that's all I have for y'all today. If you have any questions, please drop them below. If I don't see it, if I don't get to it by the time I end the live, then I will definitely go back and answer your question, or you can DM me and ask me any question that you may have. But I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that you learned something today. I hope that you gained something, and I hope that you will allow yourself to be productive in these ways by creating the time blocks and taking a break. Systems and processes, again, are for every part of your life. So let's put them in place so we can function, so we can feel good, so we can be our best productive selves. And that is it for me today. As always, I hope that you have a great rest of your week. I will be back not next week, but the following week. And I look forward to seeing you then. And thank you, TK. I'm glad that this was something for you to use. All right. I will see you all next week. Bye.